Okay, so I want to talk about the book Between Heaven and Hollywood by David A.R. White. And on Thursday night, I watched the disc of God's Not Dead 2. And when I saw the bonus features, I saw that he was promoting his book. And so I decided to check that out. I just got the free Audible from Amazon and listened to it on audio. I listened to all of it yesterday, 4.5 hours, and because I just couldn't stop listening to it. Like I had to finish it that night. It was just that good. To recap the book, it was about his whole journey through life, and started out, he grew up in Kansas in the wheat fields as Mennonite or something, I think, and then he went to, his dad was a pastor. He always wanted him to be a pastor, but David didn't feel like he really wanted to. And he went off to Moody his first year of college, but he didn't really like it there. And then he ended up going to Hollywood the year after. And he just did that, so he realized like he had made a mistake, that he had just done that so fast. And so his parents ended up moving to Canada because they were, something happened like at a church, and so they ended up moving, and he didn't see them for like a long time later. But and then he ended up, he got like an audition for a show, and he was like there for like 3 years, and then he like offended his surrogate dad, unintentionally offended, which I didn't really understand how it was unintentional, but word got around. He didn't get anything anymore, like for 10 years. He got like commercials and stuff, but like hardly anything. And he became really angry and stopped like reading his Bible and praying and spending time with God, and like he went down the wrong path. I don't really want to get into detail, so you can read the book and find out for yourself. But then like he started, he realized God was directing him in a different path. He started Pureflix, and he started making Christian movies and acting in Christian movies, and then he met Andrea and married her, and they had 3 kids. And then before he married her, he kind of felt like he was being a hypocrite because his life wasn't, he was making the Christian movies, but he wasn't living like a Christian life at that point. So he turned around, he came back to God, and then, and then he married her. Then now he's like on the right path and stuff. And that was just the whole book. And there was no book that I read before that ever really stood out to me. Like when people ask me, I was like, oh, books about like women in the Bible and stuff. Now I have one specific book that really made an impact on my life, and I've learned more from listening to this book in 4.5 hours than I ever did from all my years of school. I mean, when we learn stuff in school, we tend to we study it for the test, and then we just forget it. Poof, it's gone, stuff. Because, our mind filters out information that we're not going to use in our life, so to make room for new information, because a lot of the stuff we learn in school we're not really going to use like in everyday life. So, and also, I didn't really pay attention that much in school. Like I would always daydream, and like I would pretend I was paying attention. I would look at the teacher and like follow them with my eyes. My mind would be somewhere else because I just daydreamed all the time. And there was one time when I was like asked a question and the teacher answered it, and then I started spacing out when they answered. And so they're like, "Does that help?" I'm like, yeah, because I don't want him to have to like repeat it all again. I don't want to say that I was paying attention. And so I was never really like afraid to ask questions or anything. Like I always, if something interested me on like that topic that they were talking about, I always like asked questions because I was never like shy or anything. I was always like, "Oh, hey, hello." And so, but anyway, so that book, I like fiction or historical fiction, because I really like creating like characters, just the story development and like, developing the characters and everything and their relationships to each other. And so, but, I actually really liked nonfiction this time because it had so much heart. Like it was so well written. It was just a lot of like emotion. Like I really feel like it took me on a journey. Like usually, I get like lost in the story, fiction when I'm like writing or something, or when I'm reading. But like I kind of forget like I'm here. But for this book, like I was really involved in the story, but I didn't forget like where I was. Like my feet were like firmly planted on the ground. But I was like so into the story, I had to like pause it every time I went to like, or in a different room, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to hear this," so I paused it. But it really affected. Like I feel like a changed person after reading or after listening to it. Like by the end of it, I was like crying. Like I never, or I should say I never, but I rarely produce tears. Like when I cry, I don't. Just tears don't really pour out of my eyes, and because it really, like at the end, I was like, I really felt just this tug on my heart, and like of the people of that people in the darkness that need salvation. I don't know. I just really felt that emotion, and I really just felt God speaking to me, through this story, through this book. And so it was really emotional. Like I've probably never had an experience that was that intense. It was, I have had experiences like that, but not as dramatic as that was like. And for a book to like do that is amazing because I just don't have natural tear production. Okay, the thing that really stood out to me was this quote. He said, "Regardless of what we do or what town we live in, most of us live in a self-serving culture with a me-first mentality. Serving others is not a popular concept, and yet it is crucial in achieving your God-given dreams. Remember, God put that dream in your heart for service, not for self-interest. And that's what he realized along the way, because he thought, God had planned a dream for him to go into entertainment. But he was like, God, I deserve this from God, and God's gonna give me everything I want. At the beginning, he was thinking that, for like 10 years, and actually more than that, probably. And then once he turned his life around, he realized that our dream, our God-given dream is for service to others. And that's so contrary to our culture, or I don't really consider it my culture, but the culture I live in, in the general culture, it's serve me attitude, where, people don't really value serving others, they value getting served. And for me, I grew up in the Philippines, where it was the complete opposite. And we had to hire house helpers, because if we didn't, we'd be selfish with our money. Well, my parents, because I was younger. So yeah, so that was a complete change, because people just love serving you, in the Philippines, and just helping you out with stuff. And so when I moved to America, I was just really shocked at the complete change in culture. And yeah, I totally agree with what he said, because it's kind of something we see all around. And this book, also, as well as teaching me stuff, it reminded me of a lot of stuff that I needed to be reminded of. And I would recommend this book, especially for young people. So this was definitely the best book I have ever read, or listened to.